Alright guys, this is Gar, and this is my face. So, like my previous two vlogs, I've been trying to think of a topic that would apply to this particular vlog to overarch all the things that I'd like to talk about today. And I think that I've decided that that should be priorities. Today, basically, I want to talk about the projects that I've got lined up, the 4 to 5 to 6 different things that are going on my channel right now, and in the community, and I want to hear you guys' feedback on them with the like buttons and with the comments, so let me know what you think is a good idea, what you think is an average idea, and what you think should be given priority, because there's one thing that's true in life, and that is you'll have far more ideas and you'll want to do more stuff than you can, and you've got to come up with a way to decide which stuff is worth doing and which stuff is worth doing later, and which stuff you just probably will never get to do. So I want to hear you guys' opinions about my prioritizing and stuff like that there, okay? So I'm gonna split this into 3 subjects. I'm gonna split this into the website, YouTube videos, and then special projects. Website. So I'm working with this guy called Michael Morley, bit of a shout out there for you guy. He's a website developer, like a web developer, and he has kindly reached out to me after one of my first vlogs where I mentioned that I'd love to get a website set up. There were plenty of other people that got in touch to me. I'm sorry if I couldn't get in contact with all of you, but Michael was one of the first, and also he is one of the sort of the most, not the most professional, that's unfair, but the guy that came to me with ideas first as well. So I was really keen to get on board with him, and he's a great guy, and we're both really busy at the moment, but we're definitely the website is something that we both are really quite keen to work on together. So let me discuss with you facts about the website that I think I can probably disclose now and stuff. I'm pretty sure the domain name is going to be omfgar.com. So that's, omyfeckingar.com and .co.uk probably as well. I've toyed with this for a long time. I really like that branding, and I'm probably going to be shifting up my branding around the channel a little bit too as well. I've basically, the fig rolling thing was something stupid. It's something I kind of, not regret, that's harsh, but like, it's a bit like the Blue Zephos thing. There are plenty of YouTube channels which have names that aren't really related to what they do. I think they'd probably rather have youtube.com/yogscast. I'm sure they do, but you know what I mean? I'm sure they'd probably rather operate out of that one. I'm sure they'd rather have the 5 million subs on that one. I'm gonna try and get a redirect going along for like either youtube.com/omfgar or omyfeckingar or something out there, which sort of ties all in together. I'm gonna try and maybe change my Twitter to be something along those lines as well. All that stuff I want to try and get under one unique, like solid branding, especially based around the medical student and the blood and all that, and the surgeon. I love all that stuff. It's something that really excites me, and something that like seems to have excited the people at Game Tea because they've done a t-shirt around it. It's really cool, and I want to keep that like on the focus. Another thing that I really want to focus on with the website is the forums, and with the forums comes another topic that I'd like to discuss, which is a community name. I've gone on and on and on about talking about a community for all of us and how I love the idea of building a community, but we don't have a name. And the reason we don't have a name is there's a few reasons for it. The main one being I'm not even sure if I want a name. Nilesy from the Yogscast wrote a very good blog post on why he doesn't particularly like names for YouTube followers and fans and stuff, and I get that, because I don't want becoming a believer, for example, is something that is never seen as positive. It is only seen as negative because it creates this mob mentality based around idolization of someone that is in absolutely no way what I want to get across. Now, I'm not trying to say that people idolize me, of course not, but that's, you see people with fan bases based around the concept of armies, and that's something I'm not really a big fan of either. I don't like this militarization of fans. I don't want people to have a mob mentality, and that's something I'm not really a big fan of. But at the same time, I do understand people's need to feel included in a community, and part of being included and feeling included is having a name to which you identify yourself. I take pride in considering myself a bit of a Yognot just because I'm a bit of a fan of the Yogscast, and I think that's completely normal, fair, and I don't ever think that as being a Yognot I would ever lose my rationale. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I want to do as well. I'm a big fan, for example, of the way the VG Toolbox people have done it with calling everybody tools, because it's a little bit self-deprecating and it's fun. And going back to my earlier point about the website and the way I want to do the forums and stuff, I'm thinking of having the forums be called the Feckless forums because of the oh my fecking gar thing. And also, I think we could be considered members of the Feckless community. Let me know what you think about that. I think it's funny, I think it's fun, I think it's a little bit self-deprecating. It's something that I would quite happily get behind if people wanted to consider themselves one of the Feckless. I'd be totally okay with that. So let me know what you guys think, and then we can move on from there. The second part, which is hopefully going to be the shortest part because I want to keep it short, is about YouTube videos, and let me be really quick about this. Basically, at the moment I'm trying really hard to get out daily content, and what that daily content usually ends up being is either an episode of Wee Beasties, and for the next couple of weeks, spoilers, there's going to be some Kingslayer. On top of that, there's also going to be the odd series based around like something like Surgeon Simulator and maybe an odd episode of Steam List, something like that there. I also want to look at other video games to be played on my channel and other sort of series. And what I'm thinking of doing, if you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen me tweet about this, is having a sort of, the way that some channels focus on horror games and the way that other channels focus on sort of a point and click adventure type games, I'm thinking maybe my sort of pseudo-semi side focus, other than Minecraft, which is still awesome, would be maybe something along the lines of tycoon games, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon, SimCities, all that sort of stuff. Maybe not this SimCity. And the reason I've been prompted to think about this is because I really want to play the game Video Game Developer Tycoon, which I just bought, and I think I'll be putting up on my channel because I really want to play it. And somebody once told me, or I heard somewhere, that if you're going to play a game, you might as well record it and make and have fun with it, because it is fun to do that. That's why I started doing this in the first place. And if you guys like it, that's awesome. My Theme Hospital playthrough did pretty well, so you know that's something we need to work about. So that's the second thing that's going on my channel, and it's something that we need to think about in regards to the prioritizing things. So with that and everything else put in mind, let's move on to part 3. So part 3 is special projects. Part 3 is split up into 3 in itself because I have 3 special projects going on right now. Let me talk about them quickly. The first one is a not very short, hopefully about 3 minutes, a very short parody type animation song thingy for the Shadow of Israfel series. As I said earlier, I consider myself a bit of a Yognot, and I've always been a big fan of the Shadow of Israfel. I quite willingly admit that I haven't been able to watch a lot of YouTube videos lately, so I do feel a bit cheap calling myself a Yognot because I haven't watched many Yogscast videos or any other videos recently for quite a while. But if Shadow of Israel came back, I know for a fact I would watch it quite religiously because I really enjoyed it when it was on. I thought it was something brand new and amazing, and I'm keen to show my fandom for it. And I've got a little project in mind. I'm doing a lot of it myself, but I am getting some help from other people too. So that's one of the projects I've got going on. Estimated finishing time 3-4 weeks maybe, hopefully, if everything goes right. The second thing I've got going on is something that you heard about in the last 2 vlogs, which is my Adventure Map review series. As I said before, I have Herobrine's Returns review written. I'm just working on assets like the intro and lower thirds and stuff like that there, to edit it all in together afterwards. It's time consuming and it's hard and it's something I've never done before, and yes, the hype for Herobrine's Return is kind of lost us a little bit, but I'm still going to do it because I think it's really important to break my duck when it comes to doing this series, because it's something I've had in my head for a long time and I want to get it out there even if it's kind of late. I just want to make sure it's right. I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I want to make sure it's good. The third thing is, what's the third thing? Oh yeah, my outro / channel trailer. And the reason I put those together is actually, it's relevant because they're sort of the same. They're not exactly the same, but they're sort of the same. And hopefully, I say hopefully because I'm not 100% sure yet, but hopefully you guys will get the outro, my proper outro at the end of this vlog. I hope. We'll see. I'll show you, certainly at least show you a bit of a clip of it at the end, so you'll get an idea as to what it's about. The amazing musician Cubby has done me some fantastic music for it, and I want to make sure that I do it justice by doing a proper little animation. Animation's been something I've been getting into. You guys will have noticed at the start of the Wee Beasties intro that I did a little bit of an animation. It wasn't perfect, but I was pretty proud of it, and I want to continue that on with my outro and then work on to bigger and bigger projects because I love 2D animation. That's something I really want to get into. So with all that in mind, guys, Speaking about the topic of the video, which is priorities, you guys have got to give me your opinions on what you think is more important. Bearing in mind that if I was to go for one thing over the other things will suffer as a consequence. For example, if daily videos is really important to you guys, then it's going to be difficult to get these things out in time because it just takes up my time recording and editing videos to be put out every day. Secondly, if the website is something that you don't think is as important, then it's going to affect me because I really want to establish this community. So it's all difficult. On top of that is the fact that the people who comment and the people who like are often the same people, and that's not to say that that's negative. It's just that sometimes you can get feedback through comments that doesn't correlate through the views, and ultimately, as somebody who provides you content through YouTube, views are the absolute most important thing. Let me give you a little bit of a fact. At Christmas time, before my hiatus and before my my temporary sort of stay in America with my girlfriend, I was getting 3 to 4 times the views with I would say at least less than half the subs. I had a hiatus and I didn't lose any subs, strangely. I actually grew a little bit during that time period, but the subs that have stayed have generally been less active. Now, I'm not critical. I am so grateful for the people that do watch and the people that do comment and do like, but I would obviously like to get back to the stage where I was at around about Christmas, where the Fabulous Tech Kit videos were getting around 10,000 views after about a day or two of being up. And the thing is, it's confusing me because I don't know necessarily why that is, because I feel as if my content has been getting better across the board. I think that We Beasties is a better series than Tech It, for example. I think that my other videos, in terms of non-Minecraft stuff, is better than the non-Minecraft stuff I was doing back then as well. So it's confusing. I don't really know why. Maybe it's because I'm not doing anything new, and that's something I have to take on board. I am certainly not blaming you guys. I'm blaming myself more than anything, but I want to know from you guys, especially the ones who might be watching this and don't tend to watch my videos as often as you used to. Maybe just tell me why, and I'd love to listen to that, because I love hearing not good feedback in the necessarily like it's always positive feedback, but I love hearing constructive feedback because I want to get better at this and I want to learn, and it's my critics that will help me do this more than anything. Okay everyone, so that was my face, and thank you guys for being feckless.